What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Joystick Ayrton. So I've been MIA for almost 3 months. My last video was on the PlayStation Portal. I've been trying my damnedest to play as much of my Legion GO as I can, but I just finally graduated college, so I can put that all behind me, and now I can finally dedicate some time to the channel. So today we are talking about the MSI Claw and Intel, and what all of this and the ROG Ally 2, what the greater impact is going to be on the handheld market. So let's go ahead and dive on in. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive right in. There has been a lot of stuff happen in the 2 months since our last video. My table is covered in miscellaneous water-cooled parts. This is a 6900 XT. Nice. And then I got my water pump, and my Legion GO is in the other room. My Steam Deck I broke. We'll talk about that on another video. But there's a lot going on in the handheld market. We recently had ASUS confirm a ROG Ally 2 coming more than likely in 2024. Not super surprising, but what are they going to do with it? There's a couple cool things they could do. What I expect them to do, not quite so cool. MSI talked about the idea of 10 years of the Claw, having a Claw 2, 3, and 4, and so on and so forth. And it's going to be an extremely interesting year. I'm curious where Lenovo's going with things. What is Steam going to do? I think Steam's going to keep the deck kind of on this cycle of 3-year generations, give or take. So I think the Deck Oled is here for 2 or 3 more years before we see a performance reiteration from them. The Legion GO, the Ally, the Z1 Extreme processors, the next best chip, the 8840U, I believe. It's not that much better. So what are they going to do? Well, I think with ASUS and the ROG Ally 2, we could see a couple really cool things. We could see improvements to ergonomics. We could see improvements to cooling. We could see improvements to all kinds of different things. Maybe a better screen, maybe an OLED screen. So it'll be interesting to see what path ASUS goes down. They could do a couple different things. They could keep the hardware pretty much the exact same, maybe give you an option for more RAM, but drastically change the ergonomics and make it a way better device. See, if you took the MSI Claw and the ROG Ally like Dave 2D did, and you set them next to each other vertically, you can see just the ergonomics of the Claw look like I'm holding a controller. It looks like a much more comfortable device to me. And that might not be the case. Maybe you really like the flatter, less of a profile version that ASUS went with on the Ally, and to each their own. I completely understand that. I love the Legion. I love where the button placement is. Every single person on the planet seems to think I'm wrong. They're wrong, but that's beside the point. So I think ASUS could really make some big strides here. They could fix the ungodly fire starting hazard that is the SD card reader finally, which has seemed to have just fallen off the map like it never happened. And they could hopefully work on other RMA issues and maybe change a couple of those things. Maybe we get an OLED screen. I don't think the refresh rate will go any higher. 120 is pretty much as high as you need, especially in the handheld space. So that will be interesting. Now, Lenovo, I'm not sure where they go. I think they have kind of set themselves in this space where it's hard for them to really innovate inside of the box. They kind of made their own sandbox, and they're stuck in that sandbox of being kind of this tablet that you attach Joy-Cons to, and what can you do inside of that? And it'll be really interesting to see over the next couple of years if they follow the yearly laptop iterations that ASUS and MSI are really kind of pushing with the handheld market, it so seems. So now we're going to just kind of throw Lenovo and ASUS out of the water, and we're just going to talk about the Claw for the next few minutes. I absolutely love controversial takes. That's why I kind of started this channel, and one of the first videos is everybody's wrong about the Lenovo Legion GO, and I will die on that hill because I truly think it is the most superior handheld to anything out there. The only two that I think are remotely close to being that cool are the Win 4. I think the sliding keyboard is awesome, and the Win Max Mini and Win Max whatever in the heck. The keyboard ones they're just really cool. But in functionality and in performance, the Legion GO crushes it, and in the screen, and just pretty much every scenario. And I think that is going to be such an important factor in what happens with the MSI Claw. So no matter what happens, I'm going to pick up a Claw and play with it. Will I keep it? That's to be determined. I didn't keep any of my 4 allies I had to buy because of numerous RMA issues, but the MSI Claw is going to impact the entire market for years to come, whether it is good or whether it is bad. I'm going to hope to lean on the side of it being good, but the fact Intel is jumping into the game, regardless of what kind of performance comes out of the package as a whole, you now are having a juggernaut open and just start bringing things to the table. I don't mind AMD. It is not my preferred CPU platform. It is my preferred GPU platform. I love RDNA 2 and 3. But when it comes to company side, market share, things of that nature, Intel is enormous comparatively. Intel, I believe, is like $202 or $205 per share, and then AMD is more like 40 or 50. I could be wrong on the 40 or 50, but I don't believe I've ever seen it higher than 70. So we're talking massive growth difference on the market share in several different sectors: servers, laptops. Yes, AMD's hit back in the desktop CPU market, and Intel's for the most part been out of the handheld market, but they're finally giving an option out there. And that's probably one of the biggest reasons MSI put that in. They could have been like everybody else, throw in a Z1 Extreme. I'm sure they could have got them from AMD, but I would argue that Intel is probably giving them a pretty hefty discount for these chips to be in their device. And that's a lucrative thing, especially when there's not nearly as much of an opportunity to make money. Valve, they can sell these products at a loss because they have the Steam store, and they can make millions upon millions of dollars with that. So I think that's really important here. But with them stepping in, what will that do to everybody around them? So everybody around them is going to have a choice over the next couple of years. Do they have multiple iterations? Do you pick a Lenovo Legion GO with an Intel chip, or do you pick the one with an AMD chip? Or are they going to go down one direct path? Nobody really knows. And one of the biggest reasons for that is nobody is quite sure what the performance is going to be on the Intel side of things with the MSI Claw. So you're going to have 2 different models. There's really 3, but only 2 that are relevant. The $700 version has a slightly different i5 in it, and I believe it's a 512 gig model. The next version is $750. It is a 512 as well, but it has the higher end i7 in it. And then you have the 1 terabyte model with the same i7 for $800. This is pricier than both the Legion GO and the ROG Ally, which I think is a mistake on MSI's part. How will that play out? I'm unsure. Much like ASUS and Lenovo to a standard and Valve, all of these people have a fanboy sense of people out there that will pay pretty much whatever to get their hands on that device. Myself, the mid-tier 512 model, $750 is the one that I'm going to try to pick up, hopefully through Best Buy. That's the closest thing to me, and they have the nicest return policy if I end up hating it. So it's going to be extremely interesting. I hope Intel comes out and absolutely crushes it. I hope MSI's claim of double the battery life crushes it. I hope it's more stable. I hope the performance is better. I hope it just all together. I repaired computers for a really long time, and in that time frame, I cannot tell you the number of AMD CPUs on AM4 that I replaced that had gone bad. I can count on one hand how many Intel-based processors I replaced in my entire time doing that job. I have more confidence in Intel-based systems. So I'm super intrigued by this. I think it's going to absolutely drop dynamite into the handheld market and help propel it forward. When it comes to devices, maybe I like the Legion GO better than the Ally. Maybe I'm biased, but I still can look at it in a whole and say, yeah, this is good for gaming. This is good for the market. This is good for you. This is good for me, because it's going to propel ASUS forward. It's going to propel Valve forward, and Lenovo, and so on. Maybe not Valve so much, as they are kind of set in their ways, and I don't think they react quite the same as the other manufacturers will to each other. 1, SteamOS. 2, they're less likely to have more iterations than the other three, especially being bigger manufacturers, able to sell in more locations and things of that nature. But it's going to be super interesting. I can't wait. So coming up, I'm going to be throwing some videos out there. We're doing Lenovo Legion GO. I'm diving into every single thing with that I possibly can because I love that device. My Steam Deck, man, I shouldn't have done my shell conversion. And that's really all I got to say about that one, but we'll talk more about that later as well. But let me know what you guys thought of this video in the comment section down below. I am sorry we were gone for 2.5 months, but school's over. We're finally graduated. I can devote my time to building this channel and trying to really help progress the handheld community and build an awesome community out there with everybody and see what happens. And maybe we can turn this into something awesome. Let me know what you guys think about the Claw and anything else below in the comments section. Make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoyed any of the content on this channel, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.